a lot of commentary from older folks. They say, you know, community's not like what it used to be. Everyone used to be so nice to each other. Everyone used to say hello to each other. Everyone used to look out for their neighbors. But you guys also used to pick on special needs kids all the time.
And back at that time, yeah, you made fun of kids in the whole school. Everybody picked on you. And it could be anybody. Yeah. Anybody could be a victim of this. You could be the most popular kid. You do one thing wrong and everybody's on you.
And don't you think that's a little...
I think it built character. Mm-hmm. When you came home from school, everybody's mom was home.
Yeah.
If you came home,
and then you guys went and bullied the autistic kid.
That's right. Yeah. Or
see what I'm saying though?
Anybody.
That doesn't matter. This is The Real Generation Gap. My name is Shane Schildmeyer.
I'm Fred Satilli.
And today we're reviewing a movie that you may have never heard of, but you should certainly check out, and that is Temple Grandin.
A lot of people now in society, they're looking for like a safe space. Look at the safe space she had to have.
Yeah.
She introduced herself. And I'm not like anybody else. I'm Temple Grandin.
Yeah.
Right? I'm different but equal. Right? She really understood that she was a unique character. And just imagine doing that. You don't think of yourself that way. I'm one of the boys.
Yeah.
She was completely independently unique. And I like individualism. I like and respect individuals.
I love individualism.
It's nice to blend sometimes, but you need to be your own hero. And she really was her own hero. She made up all her own rules. She had all her own standards.
Yeah.
And to live a life where you never touch another person. She did not want to be touched or touch.
Yeah, that was, I think, for the mom, that was a big part of the story. And side note, whoever was the casting director for this movie did a great job, because I think this is the best representation I've ever seen of a mom to daughter.
They look like they could be her. She could be her mother.
I thought it was great casting for that.
Yeah. And then my favorite, Aunt Anne, played by Catherine O'Hara. Oh my God, what a character. I don't remember who Helen Keller's teacher was right now. I'm sorry. But that same incredible sympathy, empathy, symbiotic relationship where whatever Temple Grandin did, she was like, okay, that's your boundary.
Yeah.
That's what you need now. Now, Temple, this is what we need. Where can we
meet halfway?
It was amazing to watch her realize. I mean, she needed a master's degree in engineering by the time it happened, but she was able to shake hands with people.
Yeah.
She was able to I'm Temple Grandin. And
I thought that was funny, too. She's always or not always, but at times she's excited to get to the root of what she wants to talk about, but she knows manners. She's like, hi, I'm Temple Grandin, blah, blah, blah. And then how did the cows get in here or whatever,
Right. Well, she had that canned response. She was taught, you must introduce yourself and ask how they're doing.
Yeah.
So she'd come upon any situation, even at an inappropriate movement. I'm Temple Grandin, how you doing?
Yeah.
And then right into what was important to her. So, but that she overcame that she got to the point where she could do that, and it was all through. The whole door thing. Anytime she was confronted with something she didn't want to do, at some point, someone told her, you open a door and you go into a whole different wonderful world.
It was a metaphor and it was physical in the movie.
Right.
Because she couldn't walk through the grocery stores.
The automatic
doors.
Yeah.
And I thought that was also kind of a commentary on the death of mom and pop shops. Because before she was going across the street to the mom and pop shop to get her Jell-O and pudding, or yogurt, I'm sorry, Jell-O and yogurt, the only thing she eats. And then she didn't want to go to the bigger convenience store. But yeah, it was physical and metaphorical for her.
But she got to the point where whenever she had to do something that was distasteful to her, she would look at it as a door, and she would actually visualize a door and passing through.
And that was really cool in this movie too. The editing, it kind of
that scene. I was scared to death she was going to walk off the cliff. She climbed up the ladder into this building under construction. I thought she was going to walk right out. She was going to open the imaginary door and keep walking, but she didn't.
Yeah.
That was a scary moment.
But I was saying the editing was really cool. I liked how she would say something or it'd show her thinking, then it would flash real quick all the images she sees.
Right.
Or
everything she'd ever seen like that.
Yeah.
The first time she saw the cowboy, she pictured like 15 cowboys, like bang, 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 and you're a cowboy.
Yeah.
I know what a cowboy looks like, and you're it.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought that was pretty cool editing style too.
And that her mentor in college, he realized that she had an incredible visual memory. Mm-hmm. He said, you have to show her. When you talk to her, and this could be true for an autistic person, they don't hear you talking. They just hear wah, 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 like Charlie Brown. Mm-hmm. But if they see an image, they remember it really clearly. So when she was taking French, she looked at the page and she could see it. And the teacher said, are you paying attention? What does it say on that page? And she visualized the page and read the page. And he said, my God, did you learn that? She goes, no, I looked at it and then I read it.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not looking at it now and you're reading it. No, I'm reading it up here.
Yeah.
So it's a superpower. I think that these autistic people or anybody with a different brain wiring, you've seen these savants. Some kid walks up and just starts playing the piano. I saw one person that was able to look out across the city and then draw a picture of the entire city from a short memory.
Yeah, and that's kind of highlighting, I think, a generation gap in this movie. I don't see in today's society, I think there's bullies and, there's going to be a kid who's a bully, who's a jerk. But a whole classroom picking on one kid, including the teachers picking on a kid.
It totally happened.
I just don't see that happening anymore,
Yeah, but this isn't anymore.
Yeah.
This is a long time. You saw the cars in there.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Right, they were from the 60s. She was born in 1947. Mm-hmm. And back at that time, you made fun of kids in the whole school. Everybody picked on you. And it could be anybody. Yeah. Anybody could be a victim of this. You could be the most popular kid. You do one thing wrong, and everybody's on you.
And don't you think that's a little...
I think it built character.
You don't think that's interesting? I hear a lot of commentary from older folks. They say, community is not like what it used to be. Everyone used to be so nice to each other. Everyone used to say hello to each other. Everyone used to look out for their neighbors. But you guys also used to pick on special needs kids all the time.
There was
as a community.
There were no special needs kids.
Yeah.
It wasn't like now. Now we have No Child Left Behind, and everybody is integrated into society. But it didn't used to be that way. People like that were isolated. You even saw in the movie, the doctor, when she was 4 years old and hadn't spoken yet, he says, clearly your daughter is autistic.
Yeah.
And you'll institutionalize her for life. And, and the mother wasn't having that. She's like, no, I'm not doing that. We'll send her to school. At that time, that was impossible to do. Mm-hmm. The whole America wasn't having that. And her mother was a real trailblazer.
Don't you think that's a little hypocritical then? Just think to look back in time and think that community, there was more of a sense of community, but you guys picked on...
Life was a lot rougher then. You don't get it. No cars had air conditioning.
Yeah, but that means pick on other kids?
Everybody, it was, oh my God, ethnic jokes, religious stuff, everything. Everybody
jokes are jokes. I'm talking about this movie. The teachers, adults, other kids,
we crucified each other. Oh, the parents on the street, they joined right in. If you had like an ugly nickname, the parents all called you that too.
Yeah. So you've never specifically said this to me, but I've heard it a lot. When they say like, oh, there used to be more of a sense of community. We used to be nicer to each other. We used to look out for each other. You don't think that's hypocritical?
No.
If this is really how you guys acted?
No, because every one of those people that treated you that way would stick up for you and defend you and take care of you.
No one stuck up for her and defended her and took care of her other than the two people who were nice to her.
She had an especially rough time. It's what makes her the incredible, brilliant. That's why they made a movie about her.
Yeah,
she wasn't a run-of-the-mill. Huh?
I think it's hypocritical, but...
Yeah, well, you can think that your perspective is completely legitimate.
Yeah.
I can see where you would think that this is the real generation gap. Mm-hmm. And wowee. It's you have no idea what it was like to live then, the good or the bad.
Yeah.
There were both things.
Sure.
There were, but Shane, I grew up where no mom worked. These moms were all home. When you came home from school, everybody's mom was home.
Yeah.
If you came
And
home
then
with
you guys
your friend,
went and bullied the autistic kid.
that's right. Yeah. Or
See what I'm saying, though?
anybody.
That doesn't matter.
It could be anybody. A fat kid.
Yeah.
Oh my God, forget about it.
Yeah.
You know,
So
weird
where's the sense of
nicknames and
community?
people throwing pieces of chicken at him, or Yep. But that kid was included.
Was he?
He was absolutely.
I bet he would disagree.
Yeah. I've been that kid.
Yeah.
Everybody was up for grabs.
Yeah.
There was even whatever the sports hero. If he had an especially bad day, everybody beat him up the next day. Some were easier to beat up than others.
Yeah.
But it was the life was a lot rougher. There was a lot, rough edges. What you would do, what kind of thing. When I was very little in the Boy Scouts, the fathers would take all the kids camping, and you would get to this place in the woods that was rustic with an outhouse, not flush toilets or anything. And you had to immediately chop wood when the minute you got there with axes. Yeah. So that you could have heat at night in the cabin.
Yeah. And I don't discredit that at all, but I think you guys were all jerks to each other.
Yeah, we definitely were,
I think the world has more respect for each other today than it did then.
Yeah, but I think it's very thin respect. I think it's not the kind of heartfelt community, because now the street I live on, well, my street, we do know each other, but very many neighborhoods, you don't know anybody on your street.
That's true. I don't know, maybe 2 neighbors, maybe.
Where I grew up, every father knew every father's business. Every mother knew everybody's business. They were all together. They played cards at night together. The women during the day when the kids were at school were having coffee together and talking about, their kids and what, how bad they were and what was wrong with them and
how dumb the autistic one was.
Right. Whatever it may be. Somebody can't run fast. Yeah. So, we had picking sides for the Little League. My father was a coach, and another father said, "Hey, Jim, let's get together." And he said, "Oh, I don't want that kid. He runs like he's got a piano on his back." He goes, "Yeah, but he's my son. We need him on the team." It happened. There was no hard feelings. Yeah. Now you'd forget it. You'd be sued.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and I get that too. I just think that I think it's a little hypocritical. That's it.
You can think that. Yeah. Because you're from a different perspective. Temple Grandin had to overcome more obstacles than almost anybody you can think of. She wasn't deaf, dumb, and blind like Helen Keller, but what was going on in her mind was unimaginable. But also, a brilliant engineer was in there. She had different wiring. She just wired differently. And things that were acceptable or not acceptable.
And not only is she a little challenged psychologically, mentally, but she was a woman too, and they gave her crap
in a man's world.
Yeah,
and that was really a man's world. And she was able to connect with these animals, even though she knew that they were going to be slaughtered. Yeah. So she didn't love them like in a protective way. She just wanted them to be respected. They have habits. They have a style of life that they like. Let's make the slaughterhouse at least conducive to them. And in her own life, she wanted people to be conducive to her. Why can't you be respectable to me? Why can't you be respectable to this cow? Yeah. Or respectful, I guess is the word I should be saying. But it was a tremendous synergy of elements that made this unique person. And that's why I wanted everybody to see this movie. I wanted you to see it and the crew here. And I want anybody that stumbles across our production to see Temple Grandin, because even in society today...
Let me ask you this. It's undoubtedly, she's a very interesting person, individual, and she's a real person, so it's super interesting. But do you think it was a good movie?
I think it was a spectacular movie.
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yes. Yeah, because it was spellbinding. But the thing I liked about it was full of weird philosophy. Every time she saw a dead animal or a dead person, she wanted to know where the life went. Yeah. So she looked at the cow. She goes, "That's a pile of beef now. It used to be a cow."
Where did it go?
Meat processing.
No, where does it go?
It had a desire. It had a personality. It was a unique thing. Now all that's left is the beef. Where did the cow go? And her mentor in college, I can't remember the man's name, but when he died and she looked in the coffin and she said, what happened to him? And she projected that onto herself, and she said, I don't want my thoughts to die with me. And that's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
Right? Because I thought the same thing when my mother passed away. All of her likes, all of her memories, everything that was important to her, all the inside jokes that I had with her that nobody else would even understand, all that stuff was gone.
Yeah.
I think it's Blade Runner where he says it's like tears in the rain.
I'm not sure.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. It's that person, everything, all of their expertise, their experiences, places they've traveled, it's all gone. Mm-hmm. And I think of it, when the rock and rollers die and everything, it's like, wow, that incredible guitar solo that guy did. Like, he's the guy who did that, and now he's gone. The solo lives on in a record somewhere, or a recording, But it's amazing what you leave behind. And she wanted her life to have meaning. She said it. I just don't want to die without my life having meaning. And she left her mark in a major way on the world. And what she overcame to do it, I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough. For her to overcome, look, the squeeze machine.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was really interesting because for me, my instant reaction would be claustrophobic. Don't let that thing squeeze around my neck. What the heck?
But you see the way she got to it?
Yeah.
She saw an animal put in that thing.
Yeah.
And it was a horrifying thing to her.
And it was.
She said, that's terrible.
Like a hug, but it becomes a hug for her.
And the cowboy said, it quiets them.
Yeah.
It makes them very peaceful. And so she learned that. And I have problems with this with people in my own life. I say something and they learn the wrong thing, and they learn it. They can't learn anything else I'm saying, but they learn the wrong thing. So she's, maybe I would be, because she knew she had a tempestuous mind, right? Maybe my tempestuous mind would be stilled if I had such a thing. So she made one and she got in it, and like a placebo effect, maybe. She's like, wow, I am more comfortable. I am calm.
Yeah.
I can socialize with people now. This is the perfect thing. Wow, that thing that worked on the cow, that guy was right. This is good.
Yeah, and then she made one and ran her own experiment. And I didn't really understand why she failed that.
Because it was prejudice against her.
That's the
only administrator
reason why. Yeah.
didn't want to give her credit because she was smarter than him.
Yeah.
And I've had that in my own life too. Teachers that I had in school that they really were idiots. Yeah. And I knew it. And I couldn't respect them. So just imagine, she's exponentially more gifted.
Yeah.
I think she's gifted. I don't go for this disability. Now, if it's where you can't participate in society, then it's a disability.
Yeah.
Like if you become agoraphobic, you can't go outside, or you can never speak to anybody. That's a disability. But she wasn't disabled.
Yeah. That's
she
not
was
the proper term.
Differently abled. Whatever. We have to make up a word for that, because she was well able. Mm-hmm. She made the invention that opened the gate.
Yeah.
She disguised herself as a boy. She got a truck and got it all dirty and everything, and came through the gate like, just another cowboy, and they let her in.
I didn't look into it, but the real Temple was heavily involved with the production of this movie. So I wonder how much of that was real. Like, did she really dress up as the boy? Did she really go through that? I really want to know if she really just ate Jell-O and yogurt.
Look at that. There they are.
She was apparently heavily involved with the production of the movie. Make sure that it was authentic to her perspective.
Just like Killers of the Flower Moon, right? Had all that effort to make it authentic, and here's the real person.
And look at the shirt she's wearing. Looks just like something she was wearing in the movie. Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. I'm sure she wore Western wear and the best, like really fun, because she was fun that way. You just have to see the movie. Everybody has to see the movie.
It was a good movie.
Everybody has to see this movie.
I wasn't too excited about it, but once it started, I was like, oh, it's keeping my attention. I like this. It's a good story. It's a really good story.
But the thing that was really impressive about the acting job that Claire Danes can sing, but she sang in character.
Yeah.
And it's hard if you're a good singer to not sing good.
Yeah. She did a great job of that. Yeah, she even won an award. She won a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress.
And rightly so.
Yeah, it was.
The portrayal of Temple Grandin.
I think this was like an HBO.
I'm not sure.
Not an in theater.
I didn't see it in the theater.
Yeah.
You know,
how did you come across it?
Originally, several years ago, I just was, as you do, right? I'm looking through stuff. No, this is interesting. I am interested in Asperger's and autism. You yourself mentioned that everybody likes to be a little bit on the spectrum somewhere now.
Yeah, these days, I feel like that's kind of a thing, yeah.
See, when I was growing up, there would be no way you would even think or admit to something like that. You would fight that. You would resist that. That would be an insulting thing. Mm-hmm. Now people are a little bit proud of it or something, or they use it as an excuse. Or it's interesting how society has changed. It's interesting how, first of all, I'm thrilled that this is recognized, that these people are not institutionalized, that somebody is trying to get through and communicate and find out. And
yeah, so that's a whole nother aspect. Typically, these people would have been sent to an institution back in the day, right?
Right. Imagine we wasted that. We wasted Temple Grandin.
That's crazy.
All
That's
of her
crazy
mechanical
to think
genius.
About. Think about how many were wasted and probably driven to
made worse.
Made worse, yes.
Right. Yeah, they were mistreated.
I didn't really think about that when watching it, but now I'm like, wow, that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to note was we were just kind of talking about right now. This was a 2010 movie, and it felt very 90s movie to me.
I was surprised to learn that too.
I thought it was a 90s movie. There's a little bit of film grain to it, and I guess that was maybe a director's choice or a budget thing. But it felt very like feel-good 90s movie to me. But yeah, it was a 2010 movie apparently.
Right, it's only 13 years old.
Yeah, it's not too old. Check it out. Definitely check it out. What's your rating for this, Fred?
I have to give it a 10.
You hand out those 10s.
Yeah, I really, well, I wanted you and everybody else to see this because I loved it. Temple Grandin is still with us, right? So it's not like this is ancient history. This is certainly in my time. She's 8 years older than me.
Yeah.
So how about you? What do you rate the movie? You saw it objectively. I saw it for a third time.
Yeah.
You saw it objectively for a first time. What did you think?
I give it a 7. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I didn't think it was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen, but I was thoroughly entertained the whole time, and I thought it was a beautiful story. More importantly, of it being a good movie, I think the story was awesome, and it's a true story, which makes it even better.
And I see the 7 rating.
Yeah.
Because but with me, when I do these ratings, it's in the category. So this can't be like compared to a Rocky movie.
No, absolutely not.
So for what it is, for telling the story of somebody and their incredible success in life and everything, I don't know how they could have done this better.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's there's not much I would change. I guess it's just not my cup of tea.
Right. Well, but it sounded like it was your cup of tea for what it is.
Yeah,
for what it is. I mean, it's no Digimon movie, but
yeah,
it's not The Godfather either.
Thank you again for watching The Real Generation Gap. My name is Shane Schildmeyer.
I'm Fred Satilli.
And this has been a Temple Grandin review. Make sure to check it out. Until the next time. Thanks again for watching, guys. Temple Grandin, what'd you guys think? Have you seen it? Is it on your list now? You definitely should check it out. Let us know what other movies we should be reviewing. What did you think about this movie? Let us know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you on the next one.